Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize about the delayed start. Had some technical difficulties there, but now we have it settled. So welcome to tonight's game of your Buick Crusaders against the Winfield Vikings. I'm Tyler Adams with Colton Hines. And the score at Buick Crusaders Stadium on Buick pitch is 0-0. Parker Freeman is going to throw it in for the Crusaders. He's going to attempt it to Thomas Compton, but it's going to be no good. Good defense by Compton. And it's going to be out of bounds. Crusader possession. It's going to be out of bounds again. Crusader possession. Elijah Brew with the throw, and he's just going to give it to Carver Terrell.
Oh, there you go.
And now a corner kick for the Crusaders. With 6:40 left to go in the first half. Parker Freeman is going to be attempting it. It's going to be short and wide right. So it will be a goal kick for the Vikings. Going to be out of bounds. Crusader possession. Spicer with the throw in. It's going to be short and picked off by the Vikings. Now number 7 for the Vikings, Drake Lowe, is going to try to get downfield. But good defense by Drew Lukafet, who already has a yellow card today for equipment failure. Now number 12 for the Vikings, Henry Mendoza, took the ball away. There's going to be an opening for the Vikings, and it's going to be off the bar. Another shot, and a good block by Landon Hallier. Those two kicks were intended by Drake Lowe. Nice block by Landon Hallier there to save a goal for the Crusaders. Good discipline by Cade Hogan to let the ball go out of bounds. Now Noah Heger will throw it in for the Vikings. Don't know where that was going. But it still will be Vikings. Vikings possession. Heger clears it downfield. Now Moore with the ball. He's going to advance it. And a lot of speed by the Vikings there by number. And a shot. And it's going to be a goal! Buer Crusaders. That is by number 13, Chance Dillard. Score is now 1-0 Crusaders. Now Winfield taps it in for the start of play. Drew Lugafett tries to clear it out. But now the Vikings will have it again. Spicer trying to play some defense. Number 7, Drake Lowe tries to get possession for the Vikings. Spicer with the ball. He gives it to Dillard, and a good pass by Dillard to Isaac Spicer. Is trying to use his speed. And it's going to be a kick and blocked. That's just going to be a weak kick to the Winfield goalie. Now number 15 for the Vikings, Nathan Curran, passes it to James. But the Crusaders get the ball again. Colby Moore has some very much green grass. Good header by Freeman. Now Moore is going to use his speed, get downfield. He's going to cross it, but a bad cross, and it will be a goal kick for the Vikings. Thrown by Freeman. Now it's going to be a corner kick for the Crusaders. Crusaders varsity, I know this is JV, but Crusaders varsity very familiar with corner kicks this season. Score will still be 1-0 with 45 seconds remaining in the first half, and the kick by Freeman is wide right again. Vikings are going to try to move fast to get on the scoreboard, and that's number 2, Timothy Ruggles, actually with the settle, and he's one of my relatives, actually, so it's good to commentate his game. Crusaders are trying to get the ball. That's Dillard, and it will be a goal kick, I believe. Yep, a goal kick for the Vikings. Henry Mendoza will take that. And it's just going to be the end of the half for the Vikings and the Crusaders. The score 1-0. Going into halftime, your Crusaders in the lead. And we will be back in 10 minutes for the second half of your junior varsity soccer game. underway the second half of the Buer Crusaders versus the Winfield Vikings soccer match. As you are in Buer, Kansas, Buer Crusaders Stadium on the Buer soccer pitch. The score is 1-0 Crusaders. And the Vikings start possession with the ball. It's going to be a free kick as there is a foul on the Crusaders. And it's a deep kick. And it's going to hit the upright of the football goalpost, excuse me. And it will be a goal kick for the Crusaders. Carver Terrell is going to kick it in for the Crusaders. Vikings are going to cross it to, well, never mind that. Now Isaac Spicer has the ball for the Crusaders. Vikings take it away. There's going to be a cross. I think that's what you call it. Oh well. Now Jared McWilliam, I think, with the ball. They changed numbers. Looked like they all changed numbers. Landon Hallier is playing in the field now. His goalie. Defense by the Vikings. Now Landon Hallier, he was the goalie for the Crusaders last half. Now he's playing in the field. Vikings trying to get something going on offense. Good move by number 28, Garrett Smith. Defense by Terrell for the Crusaders. And a cross for the Vikings intended to Timothy Ruggles. It is going to be a kick and no good. Wide right for the Vikings. It will be a goal kick for the Crusaders. Terrell's going to take it for the Crusaders. It's going to be a somewhat deep kick, settled by Ruggles. Now Hallier with the ball. Chance Dillard had trouble getting possession of it. Now the Vikings will take it over again. Terrell clears it out. That was the kick by Micah Greenlee. Now Isaac Spicer for the Crusaders with the ball. Thomas Compton, he's going to try to pass it to Jared McWilliam, but blocked away. And Drew Lugafett trying to play defense on number 14, Eli Greenlee. Now a good effort by Timothy Ruggles there, but good defense by the Crusaders to keep the ball intact. Good pass there by Isaac Spicer. And a cross. Thomas Compton with the ball. He's going to kick it. And a block by the goalkeeper for the Crusaders. Or excuse me, the Vikings. Amos Harder about got nailed there in the head by Eli Greenlee. Spicer with the ball again. He's going to try to cross it to Eli Biggs, but just short. Now it'll be a foot race between Ruggles and Lugafett. Lugafett wins that race and is going to be kicked out of bounds. Crusader ball. Biggs with the possession, taken away by the Vikings. And a kick by the Vikings. Taken away by Terrell. Good clearance. Now Jared McWilliam with the ball. Good clearance by Biggs. Get it back on the Crusader side of the field. Compton breaks free. And good defense by the Vikings now. Now number 17, Trey Thiel, has the ball for the Vikings. It's going to be Logan Day. Tries to use his speed to break free from the Vikings, and he still has the ball. And he's not going to pass it. He's just going to keep it for himself. And that's going to be a shot way right by Day. With 13:35 to go in the second half, your Crusaders are leading the Winfield Vikings 1-0. It's going to be a goal kick for the Vikings. Rough settle by Day. Now it's going to be a foot race between a Crusader and a Viking. It's going to be a cross for Ruggles. Ruggles has the ball. He's going to take it. And he's going to kick it, but just missed. Now, good block by the Crusaders goalie. Crusaders have the ball on their side of the field. Now it's going to be a kick by Micah Greenleaf for the Vikings. And there's going to be a foul by Amos Harder. Settle for the Vikings now. Good defense by the Crusaders. Right near the goal, but they are close. And a corner kick for the Vikings is going to be attempted by 28, Garrett Smith. And the kick. And it's going to be a good block by the Crusader goalie. Thomas Compton is trying to break free. He's got his own way at the field, and a block by Winfield. Compton almost had a goal. It was a good block by the goalie. And now there's going to be a foul. That'll be on number 2, Timothy Ruggles. Goal kick for the Crusaders. I think that's going to be Isaac Spicer attempting that. Kick is up a little high. It's going to be out of bounds. Goal kick now for the Vikings. There's going to be subs for the Vikings. Isaac Spicer is just going to let the ball go out of bounds. Nice job by Spicer to keep it in bounds. Drew Lugafet's just going to let it go out of bounds. And he's going to throw it in. Bad pass to Spicer. Now Lugafet back, trying to rush the pace. Just over the head of Ruggles. Now Jared McWilliam with the ball. Bad kick. Good clearance by Drew Lugafet. Now the Vikings with the ball again, trying to create some pressure for the Crusaders. The kick's going to be out of bounds. Goal kick. With 8:25 to go in the game, your Crusaders still ahead of the Winfield Vikings 1-0 here in Buer, Kansas at Buer Crusader Stadium. Terrell with the kick. Good settle by Jared McWilliam. Now it's going to be Vikings with the ball. 31, Jareth Sanchez. Spicer gives it to Eli Biggs. Biggs is going to lead it, and it's going to be offsides. Don't know about that call. A good pass by Biggs, but it will be offside. So, Winfield Vikings possession. Now number 12, Henry Mendoza with the kick for the Vikings. Now Terrell with the ball. He's going to try to pass it, well, basically to himself. It's going to be a foot race for the ball. Now 15, Nathan Curran has it for the Vikings. Terrell takes it back for the Crusaders. There's going to be a lead to Chance Dillard, I believe. And he's going to cross it to McWilliam. Now Dillard with it again. A header by Compton to the right. And a clearance by the Vikings. Now the Vikings are trying to get something going on offense. It is a cloudy, chilly night here in Buer, Kansas. Vikings wearing white tops and blue bottoms. Crusaders all black uniforms with maroon on the shoulders. Like we'll be in circle. Oh, I think we get our own with them. There's going to be a kick by Jared McWilliam that will be out of bounds. And on Friday, we have our last regular season game for Buer Crusader football as they are heading to Circle. So stay tuned as we will be broadcasting that with the Ad Astra Radio. Game time at 7 p.m. in Circle. Pre-game show with that Astra Radio is at 6:30, and that's 95.9 FM radio. Like you get that stuck in your head. Nice job by Compton. Good move. He's going to cross it to McWilliam. McWilliam's trying to use with what speed he has. It's going to be out of bounds. Thrown by McWilliam. Logan Day with the ball. Now the Vikings have it. Defense by Carver. Now it's going to be offsides, I believe, on the Crusaders. It's going to be Vikings ball with 3:40 left to go in the match. Crusaders still leading the Vikings 1-0 as they have possession of the ball. Compton tries to poke it away. Defense by Landon Howyer and Thomas Compton. And a good pass from Lugafet to Isaac Spicer. Spicer's trying to use some speed. He's going to break free. He has a chance on a shot. And it's a goal by Isaac Spicer. 2-0 Buer with 3:02 left to go in the match. Amos Harder, good defense for the Crusaders. Landon Howyer with it. He's going to pass it to Logan Day. It's going to be mishandled and Vikings ball. Could you start the time? It's going to be out of bounds. I believe it's... Yep, Buer possession. 2:45 to go in the match. Good move by Day to get past some Viking defenders. Vikings trying to get to create some offense of their own. Good slide tackle by Carver. Carver gives it to Spicer. Spicer crosses it to Biggs. Good move by Biggs. And now Thomas Compton using some speed. Another chance to score. And it, oh, just left. And so with 1:30 to go, your Crusaders are leading the Vikings 2-0. Thomas Compton with the ball again. Now Spicer. Amos just too much of a pass for Spicer. Good move by Spicer. And now 1 minute remaining in the match. Throwing for the Crusaders. Vikings have the ball with 15 seconds remaining. And it's going to be a foul. But Crusader soccer ball. And the match is now over. The final score of this match, Buer 2, Winfield Vikings 0. Stay tuned because in 20 minutes, the varsity game will start 20 minutes after this match. So I'm Tyler Adams along with Colton Hines. We are broadcasters tonight. And we will be back. Fair enough. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, as we are about to go underway for our matchup tonight as your Buick Crusaders face the Winfield Vikings. It's 6:28 right now. Game time set to start pretty soon. Cold and chilly night. Little bit of wind here in Buick, Kansas at Buick Stadium as it is cloudy. Starting to get a little dark, so the lights are going on. And the teams are taking the field. This is a crucial game for the Crusaders.
Are we hot?
Yeah, we're on.
Crusaders with an early offensive push as that's Darling. Tries to poke it toward the goal. Instead, they're going to give Bueller a corner kick here. Today in Crusader sports action, the girls golf team finished day 2 at state, taking a 4th place finish after losing 3 seniors last year. Made a great run throughout the season. Lauren Specht finished 5th for the Crusaders, shooting a day total of 85, a 2-day total of 102.12. His Crusaders. Thetford takes a decent shot on goal. Crusaders returning a few starters here off the injury list, as that's Valdoy trying to catch back up. Shot on goal is good for the Winfield Vikings. That shot was made by number 11, Julian Washington. Not the start the Crusaders were looking for. They're Stuckey to Stuckey, and that ball will not be handled correctly by the Crusaders, and it'll be Viking ball yet again. There's Thetford. He's returning from missing a little bit of action as Darling pushes it up the side, tries to get it ahead to Stambaugh, just a little too far, and the keeper for the Vikings will come out. Thetford takes a big hack at that one. Won't be able to get a touchdown on it. Instead, Vikings will have the ball yet again. Pass to the middle. Fronted by Valdois. His ball works the way it's around. Now it's Thetford here on the near side. Stuckey gets it ahead. Darling has some space to run. He'll send it ahead. He is Cherry on the backside. Cherry not able to keep the ball in front as his touch goes wide, able to stay with the ball. Cross into the middle for Stambaugh, poked out by number 4 for the Vikings. That's Justin Newt. Updates for Crusader girls golf. Specht placing 5th, shooting a 172, 2-day total. Cooper also finishing in the top 20, shooting a 184. Next Crusader to finish is Cannon with a 193. And that ball will be kicked out of bounds, Crusader corner. Once again, we see Valdoy come to take this kick, the powerful lefty freshman the Crusaders have had. Crusaders sending up a very back in-loaded as his kick is nice line drive. Stuckey's head does not find its way into the net. Instead, it'll be a goal kick. Great height on the kick there by number 7, Dawson Valdois. There's a give and go action to the Vikings on the far side. That's number 11, Washington. Cherry trying to poke the ball away, unable to. Instead, they'll get it up to number 10. Falls, no whistle blown, and there it is. It'll be a kick near the 20-ish yard line on the football field for the Vikings. Set to take this kick for the Vikings is number 10, Zach Hammer. Crusaders have 4 in the wall. Have their back line near the 5-yard line. Kick is high, bent, and will go over the goal. They're going to say Frederick punched that out. Great play as the goalie made sure there was no chance of it being able to find the back of the net. Hammer will take the corner again. Nice height on it. Vikings unable to get a head on it, and Stuckey trying to save that ball from going out of bounds. Ends up doing so. Gets it ahead to Darling. Darling has some room to run and is caught from behind. That's number 7, the captain, Trey Teal. Thetford set to throw it in, gets it up ahead to Stuckey. His touch, too strong, rolls out of bounds. That'll be a handball there on Thetford. Pass intended for number 24, Kean Towles. There's Polk with it now for the Crusaders. Run up the line. Has a chance to make a move and does. His shot. Pass to Cherry. Goes off the top of Cherry's head out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for the Vikings. There's Washington with it on the far side. Tries to get it up to Towles. Ends up going off Valdoy's foot. Crusader Stefford needs to watch behind him as he is an open runner. That's number 16, Monte James. Wide open. Would have had an easy shot on goal. Instead, it'll be a goal kick here for the Crusaders. Frederick set to take it. Nice boot there. Stanbaugh gets his head on it. There's Polk with the touch now. That pass sent up ahead, intended for Washington. Just a little too strong. He'll give up on the play. It'll roll out of bounds. Crusader throw in. I'm going to blow the whistle there on the Vikings. Kick goes across the field to Thetford. Vikings not putting any pressure on the ball. Great pass there by Thetford, able to get it through the defenders. We'll have to get rid of it now. Does into that's Kretzer. Up ahead to Darling. Darling gets it through. He has a chance for a shot. Takes it. And good. Finds the back of the net. Crusader goal, number 18, Cole Darling.
Number 18? Yeah. Crusader goal by number 18, Cole Darling. All right, out. All of you. Something like that. You want to put the score on the board there, Chief? Well, earn your pay, man.
There's Darling again. Makes his man again. There's Stambaugh now. Stambaugh's a shot. Instead, it'll be poked out. They're going to say last touched by the captain, Teal. And that's Valdoy running from his defensive position, set to take this again. Crusaders going to match up a little differently this time. They'll put 2 men in front of the goal. That's Stambaugh fronting the keeper, and they'll crash the rest. There's Stuckey. Chance for a shot. Ball still loose in there, not cleared by the Vikings. Finally does as Devaney comes up. Pass deflected into the hands of the Vikings. And that's Towles with it. Touches to settle. And will work his way on the far side. He is Washington up front. Instead, we'll put a stop on it, send it back to his defense line, and let them set up a little better on offense. Ball working its way around the Crusader defense line here.
16, 24.
That's Taos. Vikings with a shot. Great play there by Jax Frederick. Able to come out and eliminate all chances of that. There's Cole on the far side trying to catch up with that. Manages to keep it in bounds. Tries a meg again. Ends up getting around him. Cross to Cherry. Cherry not able to get a foot on it. Instead ends up in the feet of Washington. And he'll cross it back over to number 16, Monte James. And they're going to call a handball there on James. Crusader free kick. All right. Set to take this kick yet again is number 7, Valdois. Wall of 3 for the Vikings. Great inlet pass there as Cherry just not able to get in front of it. Had a great opportunity to go backside there. Instead, it'll be a goal kick. Short goal kick there. Darling able to get it. Tries to get a pass over to Stambaugh. Not enough mustard. Instead, it'll work its way around to the Crusader defense line. Valdoy tries to poke it in to Stambaugh. Instead, Polk comes away with it. They'll get it off. Try to Cherry. Instead, poked out by number 32, Cade Hogan. It'll be a throw-in for the Crusaders. Kretzer with it. We'll pass it off to Stuckey. Thetford with it now. Able to dribble up. Gets a nice cross to Stambaugh. Head. Wide right. Crusaders looking very good on the attack. Only that one mishap on defense allowed Washington to run free on the far side. They're going to try to get to Washington instead. It'll be short, but the Vikings will come away with it. And that is Washington. There's Darling and Stuckey working on James. Stuckey brings it down for the Crusaders. Tries to get a pass up to Cherry. Cherry onside. Gets a foot on it, and there's the body. No whistle blown. Official's going to let him play. It'll work out for the Crusaders. Corner kick. Set to take it. Now on the far side is number 16, Jaden Kretzer. Crusaders, lots of opportunities here. Set up a little different as Darling sets to charge. High kick. There's Stuckey on the backside. His shot goes wide right. Great kick there by Kretzer. Just enough arc to almost find Stuckey. Stuckey just a little different angle on the touch. And that finds the back of the net. Goal kick here for the Vikings. Crusaders playing just about 20 yards back. As the longest goal kick we've seen tonight from the Vikings finds its way to Polk. Polk over to Stuckey. Stuckey up to Cherry. Cherry not able to keep it. Instead, the Vikings will send it up to Towles. And that's Kretzer. Little gimpy. There's standball for the Crusaders. Standby shot is good. Crusader goal. Number 23, Ethan Standball.
Crusader goal by number 23, Ethan Stambaugh. Keep it going.
Kick to the far side. As a Cherry will steal it away from the nearest Viking. Instead, Crusaders will play it back to Frederick to set up another offensive push. There's Valdois on the far side. Gets it into the middle. That's Polk. Polk, great touch to settle it. Working on number 10 for the Vikings. That's Zach Hammer. Hammer will win that battle. Tries to send it up ahead. Instead, Devaney will be the nearest one. Clears it out. Cherry tries to settle it. Standby was the nearest Crusader to that strong touch. It'll end up in the possession of the Vikings. That's Stuckey clearing it again for the Crusaders. There's Kretzer on the far side. Suspicion of a handball here. Instead, it'll be Crusaders trying to poke it away. Darling gets a head on that, and it'll go out of bounds. Winfield throw in. Clear from the Crusader defenseman. 24 minutes here left to play in the first half. Crusaders up 2-1. Led a goal score early coming into the game is number 26, Colby Moeller. Great head there by Kretzer. Sends it up to Standby. Standby not able to hang on. And there's Valdois and Towles battling it out. Shot on goal. Wide left. It'll be a goal kick for the Crusaders. There's Cherry trying to get the ball out of the middle of the field. Pass number 7 deflected off a Crusader, and they're still going to give a goal kick here for the Crusaders. Gonna let subs come in. Coming back in for the Vikings is Washington. Already can tell Towson, Washington, the biggest threat here for the Vikings, as well as the addition of their midfielder, number 10, Hammer. There's Deviney with a nice defensive play, clears it out, tried to pass it to Kretzer, instead will work its way out of bounds, throw in for the Vikings. Taos tried to seal off Valdoy. Instead, we'll give a little give and go action back as that ball is poked away by Kretzer. He sends it up ahead to Cherry, and the speedy Cherry has a little bit of room to work with. Tries to get it up to Stambaugh. Instead, will be kicked out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by the Crusaders. It'll be a Viking throw-in near midfield. Upcoming action here as that ball is kicked out of bounds by Thetford. Upcoming action on Crusader Sports Network. We head to Towanda, Kansas this Friday as the Crusader football team, coming off back-to-back losses, looks to rebound against the Circle Thunderbirds. This is week 8 in the football season. Playoffs start up. After this, Crusaders still have a shot at the 3 and 4 seed, depending on what happens Friday night around the state. So still a meaningful game as Winfield works the ball around, trying to find an open look. We'll send it back, and that's Thetford getting a nice touch on it, bodying up his man. Ball sent ahead. That's Washington on the far side. Deviney mans him up, manages to poke the ball, tries to clear, isn't able to. Instead, ball sent into the middle. It's Kretzer with it, almost slips on the ball, and now Hammer. Great defensive play there by Jaden Kretzer, manages to clear the ball out after a attempted slide. It'll be throw in for the Vikings. Throw in finds his way to Taos. Great pass there, and that's going to be offsides. Great call by the official as the Vikings standing almost on the inline waiting for the Crusaders to ignore him. Goal kick here for Frederick. Will work its way around to Thetford. Thetford has a little bit of room to go. Gets it up to Darling. Great touch by Darling. Little miscommunication there between Polk and Darling as Polk thought he could give a pass right back to him. Great job there by the Crusaders sticking with it. That'll be a throw-in here on the near side. They're going to blow the whistle. Let subs come in. Coming in for the Crusaders, number 14, Colton Stuckey, heading out. His twin brother, Caden Stuckey. That move bumps Moeller to where Caden was playing. Colton resumes his position on the far side. And there's Taos trying to get fancy with the footwork, getting around his man as Cherry comes up, puts a little pressure on Teal. There's Stambaugh. Great move to keep possession. Mueller has it. Pass up ahead. Trying to get it to Stambaugh is Darling. And that ball poked out of bounds. Crusader corner kick. Valdoy set to take. 18 minutes here left to play in the first half. Crusaders up 2-1. Once again, Crusaders have Stambaugh manned up on the goal keep and will crash the backside of the box, leaving 3 defenders out. Here comes Valdoy, makes his run. The kick low and won't make it. Bent too far. Doesn't have a chance to stay in play to the goal. Instead, goal kick. Set to take this kick is not the keeper. It'll be the defenseman. That's number 16, Monty James. Here comes the kick, trying to go far side. Finds its way up to the middle. Both Polk and Kretzer not able to get a head on it. And the Vikings will have possession here as that's Washington gets it into Hammer. Long pass up ahead as Valdoy uses his speed, trying to clear it out. And there's going to be a flag. Whistle blown on the Vikings. A little bit too much of a push. And it'll be a free kick here for the Crusaders. Great poke pass there. Good clear up ahead to Darling. Darling in a foot race. Not able to win it, but it'll be kicked out by the Vikings. Crusader throw in, and they're on the offensive. Here Darling trying to get this ball in fairly quick. Not able to. Well, instead, gets it in. Little give and go action. Darling center to the middle. Doesn't find any Crusaders. Instead, Thetford will walk up. Throw in again, Crusaders. Deep throw in. Tried to get it to Polk as Thetford instead poked away. There's Cherry putting a pressure on it in front of the goal. Stuckey now on the far side, fighting out possession with number 23. The ball will be kicked out as Stuckey tried to make his way around the defender. That was number 23, Caden Jones. It'll be a goal kick here for the Vikings. Near the middle of the field. Settled by Polk. Pass back. Finds its way to number 2 of the Vikings. That's Timothy Ruggles. Kicked out by the Crusaders. Winfield ball. Head official not liking the placement there by Washington as he'll just turn around and throw it. Pass into the middle intended for Ruggles. And instead finds its way to Cherry. Cherry's pass to Kretzer. Not able to stay in the possession of the Crusaders. There's Washington on the far side. Little give back. There's Deviney coming out to front his man. Shot. Great save by Jax Frederick. And that'll be a corner kick. Hammer will take it for the Vikings. Kick on its way. Line drive. Punched out by Frederick. Into the feet of Cherry. Cherry to Darling. Darling right back to Cherry. Instead, finds its way to Stambaugh as Washington comes all the way back out from charging into the goal and gets possession of the ball. Pass, miscommunication, and that pass from Stambaugh on the Crusader side. Too strong for Cherry. Cherry had room to run and was turning it on. Here's Washington with it on the far side. Stuckey trying to front his man. Instead, Polk comes across. Pass intended for Cherry. Instead, poked away by Jones of the Vikings, and it'll be a throw-in Vikings. Crusaders have subs at the next dead play whistle, and that's Hammer trying to get around Darling. Will get it up ahead. Thetford able to front his man. Pokes it away. Then has room to decide what he wants to do. Gets it to Darling. Darling turns. Pass to Stambaugh. Now back to Polk. Polk, little poke pass to Kretzer, and the Crusaders will work its way around to the far side. Stuckey needing to get rid of it. Instead, Washington comes up and fronts it. Far side for the Vikings. Poked away there by Kretzer. Has a little bit of room, gets it up to Cherry. Cherry settles it, takes a few back, gives it to Valdoy, trying to set it up. Valdoy's pass off the Vikings captain. Stanbaugh was almost able to make a play. Instead, they'll send it up ahead to the runner. That's number 2, Ruggles. Frederick comes out to make the stop. High, booming kick, settled by the Vikings, passed right up to Hammer. Instead, taken away by Polk. Crusaders on another offensive run. Great stop there by Polk. We'll send it up ahead. There's Moeller. Moeller, nobody in front. Needs to take the shot. Takes the shot. Saved. Cherry, second effort is good. Jalen Cherry with the Crusader goal. That's number 3 on the night for the Crusaders. 11:41 left to play in the first half.
Crusader goal line number 10, Jalen Cherry.
Great job. Shot attempt by Mueller, trying to go far side. Hardest play there for the goalie. Great save, but Cherry, the second effort, empty net, just had to put it in the vicinity of the goal, and it finds its way there. Towels will take it for the Vikings. Poked away there by Darling. Up ahead, intended for Stanbaugh. Instead will be cleared. Towels, the only Viking down, has a 1-on-5, splits the Crusader defenseman. Instead, Valdoy will try to clear it. It'll find its way to a Viking who showed up trying to help. There's Hammer with it. Finds its way to Towels. Shot attempt wide left. Great job there by Frederick, coming out, cutting off the angle, making himself a bigger threat to stop this. And his kick, intended for Darling, will find its mark. Great touch to settle by Darling. Thetford tried to give and go, instead poked away. Viking will have the possession. Up to Towels. His shot will go wide right. Corner kick for the Vikings. Incoming corner. All Vikings will crash the box high. Arcing kick headed by a Viking instead. Cleared out there by Stuckey. Stanbaugh and Cherry both have it. 2-on-2 here for the Vikings. Pass ahead to Cherry. Cherry running. Makes a stop. Will be caught there from behind. Gets another foot on it. Loose ball cleared out by the Vikings. And there's Stuckey. Gets a massive foot on it. And it goes through the uprights. Goal kick for the Vikings. Crusader soccer in action again Thursday at Berean Academy. That will be their last regular season game, as there's Freeman coming into the game. Starts it off with a header. They lose that regular season game. They'll be faced with a play-in in regionals. They win, they will be facing McPherson. There's Stanbaugh dribbling his way around. Shot deflected. Will be cleared out. There's Darling, has it on the far side. Will clear it around to Thetford. Thetford kicks it. Tries to get it to Stuckey. Misjudges the angle. Instead, it'll be Viking ball on the far side. Ball out of play. Subs will come in. Coming in for the Crusaders, that's Polk. Trying to keep the Crusaders here well rested. As Stuckey gets it ahead, there's Cherry. Cherry, a little behind the back, trying to keep it in. Still has possession on the far side. Great stop and go move. Clear. Or cross. Tried to get it up ahead to Stuckey and Darling instead. Will find its way around to Kretzer. Clears it back to Thetford. Thetford thinking about getting it to Darling. Ends up doing it. Darling, nobody in front of him. And it'll be poked out by the goalkeeper. That's number 29, Jackson Palmer. It'll be a Crusader goal kick. Darling didn't have the best angle to get over the keeper. Instead, Crusaders yet again in an in-loaded crash look here. Valdoy, another low kick. If the Vikings didn't touch it, it would have ended up finding its way out of bounds. Cross intended for Stuckey too high. Cherry not able to get over there and save it. It'll be a throw-in far side for the Vikings. 7:15 left to play, and here comes subs for Winfield. There's Standball with it, gives it back to Cherry. Cherry working its way, trying to maintain possession, gets it to Stuckey. Stuckey tries to get it right back to Cherry, instead poked away by the Vikings. There's Towles. Valdois has it, clears it back to Frederick. Frederick missed touch, and that'll be a corner kick for the Vikings. Corner kick for the Vikings, short to Washington, and that finds the back of the net. That's number 24. Great setup play, all caused by the missed touch of Frederick. Here Crusaders still at a 1-goal lead, 5:58 left to play. And Winfield trying to add to this goal score as Frederick. Deviney is pushed. The official's going to let it play. Coach Felty on the far side, visibly frustrated, trying to figure out, is that clear to Cherry? Cherry just needs to poke it over. Instead, they'll have a collision, and Washington will have it. Tries to get to Hammer on the far side. Instead, Thetford gets ahead on it. Now Smith with it. Will give it away. That's Shelton. Valdoy has it. Ball out of bounds. Just under 5 minutes left to play. Stuckey trying to put some pressure on Hammer. Instead, will have room to work. Tries to get across. Washington and Towles running. Valdoy tries to clear it. Leg gets caught up a little bit in Washington. And great job there by Valdoy. There's the cross. Frederick with the save. And he'll send it right up to Darling. Darling has a little room to work with. Headed pass. Tried to get to Polk instead. Fronted there by number 7 of the Vikings. That's low. Thetford. Clear. Standball. Trying to beat out as the goalie. There's the shot from Cherry. Open net. Wide right.
Great idea, though.
Justin Wynn took out his keeper, Palmer, as Palmer came out of his box to try to clear it. Instead, Wynn thought he could do it himself, have a collision open net. Cherry just pushed the ball a little bit to the right. Very short, clear, standby, able to apply pressure. And there's Kretzer with the head. Gets it to Cherry. Cherry immediately picked up by Washington, and Washington and Cherry fighting over the ball there down on the far side. Loose ball in the middle, picked up by Kretzer. Kretzer tries to get it to Darling instead. Be poked away by Wynn. Thetford with it now for the Crusaders. Great stop. Gets it up ahead. Shot on goal. It's a great shot there. A little off kilter by Thetford. Good ball speed. Winfield with it now, trying to get it up. 2:30 left to play, and that will be a whistle on the Vikings. Crusaders need to show just a little bit more urgency here as clock approaching halftime. 3-2, still up one. Can't be comfortable here with a 1-point lead, as we can see how quickly one mistake, as there's a great send by Valdoy, just a little too strong for Stamba and Stuckey. There's Stuckey with it for the Crusaders. We'll send it back to Thetford. Thetford will dribble up past the midline. Gets it outside to Darling. Angle is off. It'll be a throw in. 1:36 left to play in the half. Subs for the Vikings. And that'll be, it will not be an illegal throw-in. Official did not blow his whistle. Checking with everybody, there's the whistle. Instead, the throw-in intended for number 7. His pass to Wynn. Wynn clears it into the stands. It'll be a throw-in. Thetford with the throw-in. Gets it ahead. Too high for Darling. Nearest defender is Hammer. There's Polk. Polk clear. There's Darling. Darling has to race to save it inbounds. His clear to the middle is picked up by Palmer. Palmer, 30 seconds left. Both teams need to get a shot before half. There's Kretzer. Now Towles, 21 seconds left to play. Hammer with it. Tries to get it clear. There's Washington. Washington on the far side. 9 seconds left in the half. Crusaders just need to clear it out. There's Cherry. He'll clear it in the middle. 3 seconds left, and that'll be halftime. Here's Darling. Tries to get it up. Caden. Whistle hasn't blown. And there it is. Crusaders in the half. Up 1. 3 goals scored. Looked very good. Both goals allowed by the Crusaders. Just miscommunication. The first goal scored by the Vikings. They lost Washington on the backside. Second goal was just a mistouch by Frederick. We will be back in 10 minutes for more Crusader soccer action. We will see you after the break. score of the game?
Just started.
Still zeros?
It literally just started. What
Literally
a
just
single
started.
from the Rays.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Dude, I'm telling you, Randy is a legit player. Randy Ozarena.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Game one. It is.
Yes, sir.
Who do you got? Oh, that just makes me mad.
I got Raisin 6.
Raisin 6?
Yep.
You got Raisin 6?
Raisin 6.
I was thinking about it today, and I don't know what to make, really. I just
Sorry.
I mean, if you keep doing the left-handed kicker, I mean, that's
Left-handed kicker.
I said that a few weeks ago.
Tyler. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I don't know soccer. Soccer is not my thing.
That's why I come and do this.
Yeah, this is why you do soccer.
I would pay a lot of money to just see your terminology, like left-handed kicker.
Hey, you know my terminology for football is pretty good.
Yeah, you know your football. When it comes to soccer,
Hey, I know my football too.
I
Back
know-
off, bucko.
I know my football. You know your soccer.
Alright, we're going to camera. If I can... There you go.
Who hired these guys though? What's his name? Mr. Sizer that hired these guys. Oh, nice.
Crusaders will start the second half with the ball up 1, 3-2. And that is Stuckey with it for the Crusaders. Tries to get it up ahead to Polk. Just a little strong. Clear from the Vikings. Goes off Polk. Instead, sent up ahead. There's Cherry running. Not able to get there in time. Instead, will be cleared. Touch by Devaney. Little strong. Great job there by Colton Stuckey. Able to keep it in bounds. And he's right there fronting towels again. Just narrowly avoided the high kick. Ball, 50-50 ball won there by the Vikings. Haven't had a whole lot of those today. As there's Thetford trying to dribble around. Hammer instead will go. Shot attempt by Towels will hit the back of the field goal post and bounce out. That's high. Ball sent ahead. Cherry trying to put pressure on it. Instead, headed right off Stambaugh. That Cherry manages to have a great second effort. His shot goes wide left. Very scary. As Stambaugh just coming off being 100% after having a very scary incident at Wichita at the Stryker Sports Complex on their Friday night game. So glad to see that he's moving around still. Great clear there by Thetford as the Vikings had men in the box. Corner kick will be Hammer. Ball needing to be cleared. A lot of gunk in there. Almost made it all the way through. The Crusader defenseman Kretzer managed to get a foot on it and clear it out. And that ball will be said to kicked out last by Stambaugh. Throw in for the Vikings. Knocked out again. Crusaders very well manned up as Stambaugh coming over trying to get that ball sent ahead. Cherry, a little bit of room to work with, and he bites it on the ball. Gets up though, hopefully no ankle issues from that. Ball sent up ahead. There's Stambaugh. Stambaugh in a foot race and a little bit of body shoving here. That's number 18, Christopher Norton. He will win that battle between Stambaugh and clear it, and Vikings go right back on the attack. Towels has Washington here on the far side. Stuckey comes around, slips on the ball again, and there's a collision. Valdois saves it. Sent ahead. Great job there by Polk clearing it out. Ball crossed, intended for Cherry. Instead, Norton gets a chest on it. Great send there by Stuckey. Cherry just not fast enough, and that ball is cleared out of bounds. Throw in right next to the flag. Throw in ends up right to a Viking sent ahead, but Thetford comes up out of his defense position, and there's Stuckey with it now. Tries to get to Cherry. Cherry has a missed touch, and it's a foot race for the ball, trying to keep it in. Cherry has it now, working on the Viking defender. His shot wide left. Goal kick for Winfield. 34-48 left to play as Washington has it on the near side. Will send it ahead. Polk anticipates the pass right away, having room to work with his send up ahead, intended for Cherry, just a little weak. Crusader volleyball in action. They play Winfield as well. 1 and 2 sets.
25-19 and 25-21.
There's Cherry. Tried to get a little touch pass. Crusader volleyball team on a hot streak. They handed Smoky Valley this weekend their second loss of the season, as they head into a very tough regional with a few of the top teams in 4A. As that ball is going to be last touched by the Vikings, it'll be a goal kick here for the Crusaders. Throw in here on the far side for the Crusaders. That's Thetford set to take it. Kretzer has a run, not able to stick with it, and there's Stuckey trying to maintain possession for the Crusaders as Towles manages to get the ball in stride. Great job by Deviney, able to backpedal and clear it out to the far side. Thetford bodies up Towles, ball sent ahead to Hammer, and that'll go off the upright on the field goal post. It'll be a goal kick here for the Crusaders. Crusader volleyball has regionals this weekend. They are set to take on the 3-seeded Nickerson Panthers. Polk, there's Polk, has a run, shot is good! Goal! Caden Polk with a Crusader goal to put them up 2. Just for you. There's Cherry, able to kick it out off Washington. Crusader volleyball wins over the Augusta Orioles in 3 sets. Loses the first. And a little bit of extracurricular activity there. And that'll be a card on Washington for John with the official. He'll have to come out. That all started when Cherry gave a little shove after he kicked it out. Nothing much. I think he was just trying to stop his momentum, but Washington took offense to that, and there's the end result as we have 31. Just about 31 minutes left to play. Polk will set to take this. Crusaders all lined up on about the 7-yard line here in the football field. Ready to crash. Here's Stuckey on the far side. And that'll find its way into the hands of Palmer. Kretzer with the head. Find its way into the feet of Hammer. Great job there by Darling, able to come disrupt the momentum they have as Polk's pass intended for Darling just a little short. Win will have it for the Vikings. Gets it up to Hammer. Pass behind Smith. Not able to get there. Shot from Hammer. Wide right. It'll be a goal kick for the Crusaders. So that ball is cleared by the Viking defense line. Once again, we're here at Crusader Stadium. Crusaders wearing their black and maroons here as the home team, up 4-2. Winfield Vikings in their white and blue away uniforms. It's 48 degrees here tonight. Little bit chilly. As you can see, some players here with longer sleeves on, trying to stay warm. Not affecting the play, though, as that shot saved by Jax Frederick and Baldoy. And Smith in a foot race. Smith able to keep it in, gets it back to win. And there's Stuckey putting a nice body on him, trying to get. And they're going to raise a flag here. A little too much contact there from Stuckey. It'll be a free kick, and set to take that for the Vikings is Hammer. Vikings will send up their left defenseman, leaving 3 back. Stanbaugh, the farthest placed Crusader, even with the ball. 2 men in the wall for the Crusaders. Cherry manned up on Smith. Everybody else behind the goal set to crash. The kick bent nicely, headed by DeVinny, and DeVinny falls. And they're going to call handball. No, they're going to call that on the just outside the box. Lucky there for the Crusaders. So that puts 4 in the wall for the Crusaders. Cherry again manned up. Everybody else set to crash. Hammer will more than likely take this himself. He does, and it's high and wide right. Goal kick for the Crusaders. Here comes the kick from Kretzer. Gets it up ahead to Cherry. Cherry sends it up ahead to Stanbaugh, but bodied off by the captain of the Vikings. Great play. There's Kretzer with it now. Kretzer settled back into more defensive role here as of late in the season after they returned a few people off their injury list. There's Towles with it now. Thetford coming all the way over from his right defensive position, needing to get back. They have a wide open man, and that shot from Hammer is high and wide right.
Wow thing.
Goal kick from Frederick. Little short, but finds its mark. That's Polk. Great header back. No Crusader near, though. There's a 50-50 ball. That'll be settled by the Crusaders right into the possession of the Vikings. Smith gets it ahead. Polk takes off the pass. There's Cherry. Cherry trying to get it to Stanbaugh. Just a little too much bend on it. And it'll find its way out of bounds. 26:05 left to play. Crusaders lead 4-2. Substitutes coming in for the Vikings. The next stoppage of play. Subs will also come in for both teams. Throw in here from Smith. Just barely stays in bounds. Little awkward throw in as that clear gets up ahead. DeVinny will clear it out of bounds, and Smith will take it for the Vikings. Subs for the Crusaders subbing out. For the Crusaders is Darling coming in. Here comes the throw in. And Stanbaugh able to take that off. Has two men on him. Not able to maintain possession. Instead, Hammer tries to fake the long boot. Instead, gets away with it. That's Towles. Towles, wide open shot. Finds the back of the net. Goal for the Vikings. Goal comes with 24:49 left to play here in the second half. Puts the Crusaders still up 1. Vikings 1 goal away from tying this thing up, and we can see how quickly tides can turn. Kretzer with it, gets it up to Polk. Polk makes its way around Kampala. Great settle there by Stuckey. Gets it ahead to Cherry. Cherry works his way around Ruggles. Now Polk has it. Clears it up on the far side. That's Elijah Brew. Brew trying to make its way to get closer to the goal to set up a cross. Instead, will be forced to throw it in near the flag on the far side of the field. Throw in to Stanbaugh. Stanbaugh trying to work its way around. Instead, ball will be tried to clear. Brew sends a cross into the middle. Will end up going out wide right. And it'll be a goal kick for the Vikings. Short goal kick. Kretzer runs up, makes a great play on it. Crusaders trying to fight for this loose ball still. Valdoy comes up, gets to Cherry. Cherry trying to win back the ball. Instead, it'll be cleared up ahead, intended for Ruggles. Stuckey bodies him off and will clear it back into the field. Finds its way right back to him. Gets to Cherry. Cherry settle. Tries to make a move to go around him. Loose ball. Last touched by the Vikings. And there will be subs here for both teams. Coming in is Stuckey and Darling. Heading out is Harder and Cherry. Stambaugh takes over for Cherry, set to throw it in. Gets the throw into Kretzer. Kretzer has a little bit of time, but not a whole lot. Tries to get it across the field to Stuckey. Passes long, and there will be a whistle blown as Kretzer bodies him up. Goes back to help his man up. Great show of sportsmanship there by the Crusaders. Here comes the kick as Polk stays back in case he can make a run for another goal opportunity. Hammer trying a little misdirection, clear up ahead, intended for Towns, will be headed away by Kretzer, Loose ball, that's Washington on the far side trying to get it. Brew, great clear, there's Polk. Polk has room, shot, finds the back of the net. That's number 2 for Caden Polk. Puts the Crusaders up 5-3. Ball will be kicked back for the Vikings, looking to take another shot. Trying to get the ball up ahead to Towles. That ball is going to be clicked out. Saved there by Kampala. Throw in short. Stambaugh able to get a foot in front. Stuckey gets it up ahead to Polk. Polk right back to the other Stuckey. Ahead to Brew. Brew has some room to run. Trying to beat out Wynn for the ball. And Wynn will clear it out of bounds. Crusader corner on the far side. Subs for the Crusaders. Cherry coming in, giving Polk a little bit of a breather. Crusaders really trying to stay fresh here tonight. Still 20 minutes left. Crusaders up 5-3. But as we've seen throughout the night, leads can dwindle just like that. Few mistakes. Great cross. Shot on goal. Saved. Second effort. Just wide left by Stambaugh. Great job by the Crusaders, crashing the box again and again and again. Short goal kick yet again for the Vikings, but will find its mark. That's Hammer. Hammer gets it up to Towles. Just a little bit of room. He'll give it to Washington. Washington on the far side has a little bit of room to run. Touch. Mishandled. Will work its way almost to the end line. Clear up ahead. Not a great shot there by Kampala. Ball still needing to be cleared for the Crusaders. 50-50 ball in the air. Will be settled. Stambaugh trying to go over number 7 low. Instead, they're going to be a whistle blown. Ball will end up about the 25-yard line of the football field. About 35 yards out from the goal. Washington here has a decent leg. Crusaders set 2 up in the wall. Their wall on the 8-yard line of the football field. Low shot. Wall works out for the Crusaders as the clear from Kretzer will go right and bounce off Washington. Ball on the ground, and there's going to be a whistle on Stambaugh. They're going to say he tripped Washington, say he took out his legs. Stambaugh thought he had all ball, visibly frustrated after that. Crusaders set up 2 in their wall again. Washington takes the shot himself, will go wide left. Doesn't work out. Subs for the Crusaders coming in. Number 11, Parker Freeman heading out. Number 14, Colton Stuckey. Decent goal kick for the Crusaders. Finds its way to Cherry. Cleared by the Vikings, and that's Hammer. Cleared by Thetford, but to the middle of the field. Stanbaugh gets some pressure on it, and that's going to be official taps his shoulder, no whistle blown. Ball be kicked out by the Vikings. Ball cleared into the middle of the field by the Vikings. Kretzer comes away with it for the Crusaders. Sent up ahead, that's Brew on the far side, has the best chance at it. Instead, Winfield will clear it up. That's Washington and Stuckey fighting it out on the far side. Washington able to clear it to his back defense line as Thetford and Towles now duke it out for possession. Thetford will be able to clear it. It'll be throw-in for the Vikings on the far side. Both teams trying to stay fresh. Stanbaugh will come out. Set to come in. Back is Polk. Scored the last two Crusader goals. Throw in from Washington to the middle of the field. His pass tries to get to Hammer. Hammer to the middle of the field as Deviney will clear it out. Darling finds his way. Touch just a little too strong. Not able to use the room he had to work with. Finds his way out of bounds. Throw in for the Vikings. They'll get it right into Hammer. Hammer takes his time. Tries to get to Washington. Instead, deflected off Stuckey to end the possession of Towles. Poked out there by Kretzer. Now Polk, and they're going to blow a whistle here. No signal from the official. It's going to be a drop ball here as Kretzer will set to take it. Washington runs back to his defensive position. Ball cleared. Will find its way to Washington. Cleared up ahead. That's Towles with it. Number 24 for the Vikings. Hammer tries to get it right back to Towles. Thetford needing the front. Able to poke it away. Shot. Wide left. 15:48 left to play. Goal kick for the Crusaders. Frederick, your goal for tonight. Freeman's head goes nowhere. 50-50 ball. Works its way back to Thetford. Thetford clears it up ahead. In between Brew and Cherry. Brew throws in straight to Cherry. Cherry has a little bit of room to work with. Great touch. Shot. Wide left. Darling not able to collect that second effort. Polk has it now for the Crusaders. Gets it up ahead to Stuckey. Stuckey will take a shot wide right. Goal kick. 15 minutes left to play. Great job by the Crusaders there. Darling trying to settle that ball. Instead will come away. That's Ruggles with it now. There's Valdoy. Tries to get it up ahead. There's Cherry. Crusaders don't have anybody on the far side. The keeper will come out. Great clear. Finds its way to Ruggles of the Vikings. Instead poked away there by Stuckey. Cherry has a chance. It'll be kicked out of bounds, and they're going to say last touch by Jalen Cherry. It'll be the Winfield Viking ball. There's Washington on the far side, bodied up there by Thetford, and Thetford falls down. No whistle blown. Thetford able to get up and walk it off. Officials trying to figure out whose ball it is. It'll be Crusader throw in. Stuckey set to take it. That's Colton Stuckey. Crusaders figuring out who is supposed to come on, who's supposed to come off. Throw it gets to Kretzer. Kretzer's touch goes off the outside of his foot right to a Viking defender. Cleared out by the Vikings. Thetford will take it now for the Crusaders. High arcing throw in. Gets behind Stuckey into the hands, or possession, of Winfield. That's Freeman has a shot. Trying to body up and win. Ball almost poked away there by Caden Stuckey. Moved around by Hammer. Hammer trying to get it to number 5 of the Vikings. Instead, Crusaders come away with it. That's bodied out there by Wynn. Polk, the nearest Crusaders. Wing clears it out of bounds. Subs for the Crusaders set to come in. Stanbaugh coming in for Freeman. Once again, both teams trying to stay as fresh as possible while leaving their best in. Here we have just under 12 minutes to play. It'll be a goal kick here for the Vikings. Ball on the far side. Here that's Washington. Gets it to Hammer. Washington takes off running. Instead, they'll try to go to the near side. Intended for James. Great stop by the Crusader defense line. Throw in. Tries to get it over Stanbaugh. Stanbaugh gets a head on it, but it'll work its way around. And there's the high kick by Hammer. Hammer throws his hands up in disbelief. Official confident with his call will run on. Kick took it immediately by Kretzer. Touched by Cherry. Finds his way to Moeller. Moeller tries to get a pass to Cherry. Short and to the left. Ball cleared out by Wynn of the Vikings. It'll be Crusader throw in. Throw-in attempt will go directly out of bounds as Thetford tried to get it down the line as he saw Cherry, saw the opening, just didn't have enough on it. Winfield throw-in works out for the Crusaders. Shot taken by Stuckey, collected by Palmer. Comes the boot by Palmer. Short boot will go out of bounds. Great job there by Stuckey, walling off James to allow the Crusaders to have a good throw-in as Hammer just steals that away. But Polk tries to get it up ahead. Foot race between Wynn and Stanbaugh. And that'll be a handball just outside the box. Very odd angle just inside the out-of-bounds line here on the football field. Set to take this kick is Polk. A wall of 2. As Polk more than likely trying to go for that far up 90s. Does. Just too high is Polk. .8:45 here left to play. That's Darling with it, gets it up to Polk. Polk works his way around, has a little bit of room to work with. Shot on goal. goes off the goalie. No, they're going to say bounced over his hands. Goal kick for the Vikings. 8:12 left to play. Crusaders up 2. Polk has scored the last 2 for the Crusaders. Hammer with it now for the Vikings. Gets it up ahead. That's Washington. Washington and Muller in a foot race. Washington edges him out by a step. His shot wide left. Hammer with it now for the Vikings. Gets up ahead the Towels. There's Stepford coming across. Makes a good play. Good clear. Standby. Able to come off. Little bit of contact. Able to play through it. There's Darling. Darling on the near side. Darling takes the shot. Doesn't have enough on it. Real low. Polk almost able to come up in front it. Get a better look. Instead, Washington has it now on the far side. 6:41 left to play. Hammer sends across. Stepped in front of by Stuckey. Stuckey gets to Darling. Darling's pass intended for Polk will not find its mark. Instead goes to Hammer. Hammer up ahead. Tries to get it to James. It'll instead be poked out by Dawson. Throw in for the Vikings. Great head there by Darling. Polk sends it up ahead. Standball makes a run on it. Not able to keep possession. There's Teal for the Vikings. Send it up ahead. Great job there by Devaney as he had an open Towels behind him. Instead cleared by the Crusaders. Another opportunity. Darling's cross intended for Cherry. Just bent a little too much. And Winfield has it now. That's Washington. Washington's shot. Frederick puts both knees on the ground. Make sure there's no shot of that finding the back of the net. Great throw out to Darling. Darling tries to get it to Kretzer. Instead will be taken away. Standball with it now for the Crusaders. Standball dribbles to the middle of the field. Has a little more room to work with there. Makes a move playing with the ball. Doesn't give it off. And there's a body. No whistle. Standball looks up in disbelief. Really thinking that contact was a little much. There's Polk. Polk with the shot. Bounces right into the hands of Palmer. 4:50 left to play. Crusaders up 5-3. There's Towles with it for the Vikings. Towles and Washington now 2-on-2 situation. Thetford able to get back even with him. Great job as he caught up. Crusaders needing to clear it out. That's Hammer. Hammer gets it out to Washington. Washington clears it in the middle. Kretzer now with the foot on it. Loose ball. Cleared right to Hammer. Hammer's shot goes to Frederick. Jack's thought about a quick throw. Instead will boot it up ahead. Finds its way to Stanbaugh. Stanbaugh's touch a little strong. Hammer gets a foot on it. And then Stanbaugh pass to Muller. Just a little strong. Winfield throw in. We have subs entering the game for the Vikings, as well as the Crusaders. Stuckey in for Muller. 3:52 left to play here in the second half. Crusaders 5-3. Ball sent ahead, intended for Washington. Kretzer settles it and sends it out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by the Vikings. Crusader throw in. Thetford will take this one for the Crusaders. Has two options. Tries to get it up ahead to Polk. And there will be a whistle. They're going to call a shove on the Vikings. Free kick for the Crusaders on the 30. Thetford and Polk around the ball. Polk will make his way down the field. Thetford's line drive clear. Finds the body. Stambaugh raising his hand, trying to get a handball called. Instead, no whistle. Stuckey has it now, working on James. Polk will come across, get all ball. And the momentum of his body will topple James. Ball sent in to James. Hammer over to Washington. Pass deflected. There's Stuckey with it now. Stuckey on the far side trying to get around his man. Keeps it in bounds. Stambaugh almost able to get to it. Kicked out of bounds. Crusader throwing. 2:26 left to play here in the second half. Throw in set. Gets it to Stambaugh. That's Thetford. Now Polk dribbling his way around. Cherry had to stop, stay on sides. Now he's got a race to keep it in bounds. Won't be able to. Goal kick for the Vikings. 2 minutes left to play. Kick headed by Kretzer. Not able to find a Crusader. Instead, there's Stuckey almost coming away with it. Instead, ball just spins. Polk with it now for the Crusaders. Makes a move. Breaks some ankles. Finds its way around. Tries to get it to Cherry on the far side. Instead, poked out by Seidel. Crusader throw in. Cherry will take it. Acts as if he's going to give it back to Thetford instead. Tries to get it to Stambaugh short. Washington with it now. Gets it to Hammer. Hammer dribbling around. Tries to send it on the far side. That's Kampala.
1 minute left in regulation.
Ball sent on the far side. Stuckey trying to outrace Seidel. Instead, Seidel will just kick it out of bounds. You just heard 1 minute. We got 45 seconds left to play. Crusaders still up 5-3. Not wanting a mental breakdown here for sure is Coach Felty, as it would be very nice for the Crusaders to score another. Stambaugh set to throw it in, finds Polk. Polk headed back. Shot on goal. High spinner. Wide left. Darling trying to get in front of that. There's Stuckey. Stuckey. Shot on goal with the left foot. Saved by Palmer. 15 seconds left to play. Ball sent ahead. Deviney heads it down. Crusaders will send it back to the defensive line. There's Polk with it now for the Crusaders. Polk dribbling, tries to get it ahead, and that's your game. As Stambaugh and Polk embrace. Final score, Crusaders 5, Vikings 3. Next action on Crusader Sports Network will be from Towanda, Kansas, as the Crusader football team takes on the Circle Thunderbirds. Lots of regional action this weekend as we see cross country and volleyball. Best of luck to them. Once again, Crusader women's golf finished day 2 of state today. That's the last. They're taking 4th. Lauren Specht takes 5th. Callie Cooper takes 14th. Congrats to them on a great season. Your final score from Crusader Stadium, Crusaders 5, Winfield 3. Bye, Mallory. Hey, it's nice to see you.